watch this as many times as you like. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about money vocabulary. Okay, maybe I can center this guy a little bit better. There we go. I think that's all right now. Yeah, money vocabulary. Okay, so everything to do with money for like level C1. So, I've got some money vocabulary, expressions and idioms, okay, and I also prepared the manifestation. We'll probably do that in the second session because this will be 2 sessions, a shorter session now, and then 1 hour later, a longer session. Okay, so money is one of the richest areas of English vocabulary for learners preparing for Cambridge C1 Advanced. Simply knowing the meaning of a word is not enough. This is a key point. Okay, so the literal sense, a lot of these are not literal. Like, for example, money doesn't grow on trees. So it's a bit crazy because obviously you don't see money growing on a tree physically, but it has a very important meaning in English. Examiners expect you to choose the most natural collocation. So again, they have to be natural. It's not really good enough for it to sound more or less similar. It needs to be what native speakers use naturally. Understand subtle differences in meaning and use vocabulary that sounds precise rather than translated directly from your first language. So that the pronunciation of this word is subtle. So the B is totally silent. It's just subtle. Many of the following pairs are easily confused because they have the same translation in other languages, yet native speakers instinctively choose one over the other. So the first pair we're going to look at is, hello Amel, is the difference between rent versus hire. I think that's super confusing. Hello Cassia. I think they're really confusing, the differences between rent and hire. No, even for me sometimes I'm a bit confused. Well, not confused, but there are questions. People say, Vicky, why can't I use rent here? Why is everybody saying hire? What's the difference? You know? So, although both verbs involve paying to use something temporarily, they are not completely interchangeable, right? So in British English, which is what we are studying because, okay, I'm Irish, not British, but in Europe, generally, we use this British English as opposed to American English. Rent usually refers to property or premises. So when you rent something, it's usually referring to property or a premises. In other words, you are paying for temporary possession of a place. Okay? Hello, Cassia. I'm really good. I'm tired because I woke up at 5 because, I had the car inspection, but my car passed. So I was really happy. The guy was really nice. Everything was really efficient, but I woke up really early. And it was like a 40-minute drive. I couldn't get an appointment in the nearer station, but it passed. The car passed, so we're good for another year. So I'm really happy with that. And what about you? How are you? Is everything okay? I hope you had a nice day. So, some examples. Thank you very much, Arlo. Thank you. Yeah, I'm chuffed. I'm really excited about that. It's a relief, It's like doing an exam. Not as bad as the C1 exam, but I was a bit nervous, They say, press the accelerator, press the brake, pull up the handbrake, and it's all in Spanish, and I'm like, where is this? But everything was okay. Many graduates are forced to rent accommodation for several years before they can afford to get on the property ladder. Okay, that's another expression for you guys. I recommend looking up this one, to get on the property ladder. In Spain, Cassia, in Spain. Yeah. So you could see here, if I put in here hire, it would be weird. If you said, we hired accommodation. For me, that sounds unnatural. It's weird, you know? So we rent accommodation. Hello, Amel. The company rented additional office premises while its headquarters were undergoing extensive refurbishment. Okay? I recommend as well checking undergoing refurbishment. That's a really nice verb for you guys. If you don't know it, I recommend looking it up. Okay, what time is it in Spain? Because in Poland it's the same. Kasia, Poland and Spain are the same. Same time. They should be different. But what happened was Spain was originally the same time as Ireland and Portugal. But during World War II, Franco, the dictator in Spain, was allied with Hitler in Germany. And Franco changed the timetable in Spain so that we had the same time as Germany. And it has stayed like that. So in Spain, we have the same time as Eastern Europe. Same time as Poland. It's a bit strange. Yeah, the sun comes up very late and sets very late also. Hello, Mr. Foster. Underway and undergo are different. Underway and undergo are different. Compared to underway. If you say underway, it's happening now. So you'd say like the refurbishment is underway. Undergoing. Oh my God. While its headquarters were undergoing. No. You can't say while its headquarters. You have to say the refurbishment is underway. That's a really good question. Because undergoing, underwent. Undergo is a verb. Underway is the adjective. No, underway, man, is underway. Oh my God. That's a really good question. It is underway. No, because it's not a verb. Hang on. Guys. Hello, Nordic. Alright, Cassia. Cool. Hey, White Diamond. Long time no see. Let me see this freaking thing. Let's check. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It is an adjective. Because I was thinking, but it's level C2. So, underway is an adjective. So you would say the refurbishment is underway. Whereas undergo is a verb because you can say underwent, undergone. Okay, but it's a really good question. Hello, Mac. While extensive refurbishment was underway. Yeah, you could say that. Yeah, exactly. You could say that. Good job. Let's put it down. Extensive refurbishment was underway. Yes, as an adjective. Brilliant. Thanks, guys. Really good question. Really good question. Okay, well done. Good job. I'll put you here to give you the credit. Yeah, nice. Good question, Mr. Foster. Julie, I'm terrified. I have my C1. You have it tomorrow. Oh. Okay, yeah, my car exam is not very significant compared to the C1 exam. Julie, good luck. Okay, well done, Mac. That was brilliant. Hello, Irina. So, the charity rents warehouse space to store donated supplies. The charity rents warehouse space to store donated supplies. So, warehouse space is considered a place, so we would use rent. You wouldn't say hire, okay? Hello, Garaud. Notice that rent often appears with nouns such as house, flat, apartment, property, office, premises, warehouse, accommodation, and storage unit, okay? So hire here sounds weird. For sure, do Julie come back and tell us if you passed. How everything went. How everything went. It's really interesting. Yeah, good. No, you have to say, you can't say how everything underwent. You can't say that. How the exam underwent. How you underwent the exam. You could say please come back and tell us how you underwent the exam. But it sounds a bit strange. You would say how you underwent the exam. Yeah. Mac, donated supplies are stored in the rented warehouse. Yeah, you could say that. Well done. Passive. Good job, Mac. Mac, you're on fire. You have a really good level. Hello, Luis. How's it going? Thanks for the rose. Okay. Example. The production company hired specialist camera equipment for the documentary. Awesome, Julie. That's cool. Hey, Luis. We hired a 4-wheel drive vehicle because many of the roads were inaccessible. In fact, you don't need to say vehicle here, but you can. You can say 4-wheel drive as a noun. The organisers hired a team of security consultants to carry out a comprehensive risk assessment. Okay, so you're hiring a person. Carry out is a very important phrasal verb from B2, honestly. This distinction explains why British speakers, okay, so I don't like, yeah, anyway. Don't get triggered, Vicky. Why British speakers naturally say hire a car, although American English strongly prefers rent a car. If you're taking Cambridge exams, both are correct, but hire a car sounds more typically British. So that's the big difference there. And that's why sometimes we see hire a car and we see rent a car, and people get totally confused. And the issue is it's between American and British English, okay? But technically it's not a premises. We use rent for premises and places, and hire for equipment and tools. And a car would fall in the latter category. So we should say grammatically, hire a car, not rent a car. But look, exactly, Mac, hire is for objects. The thing is, American English, you know, we have TV series, so much influence from America now, which is fine. And even in Ireland, and I use some American words, by accident, people say, Vicky, why are you using that word? And I remember when I was living in China, I was working with a lot of Americans, and I started saying trash instead of rubbish. And I also started saying eraser instead of rubber. And for me, it was so weird at the beginning, but in the end, listening to them all the time, trash, eraser, I started to use them. So that's the thing, we have this influence, you know. In IELTS exam, the listening part, they use hire a car. Yeah, IELTS, okay. What is the American one to rent a car? Yeah, exactly, yeah. Their language rubbed off on me. Beautiful. Exactly. Their language rubbed off on me. Yes. Hello, Louise. Yes, we are in English class. I hope. Yeah. Okay. So the difference becomes even clearer when people are involved. Now, this one is a bit tricky. I'm not going to explain why, but you can imagine. Okay? Julie, could you give me some advice for part 3 and 4 of use of English? You need to manage your time really carefully, Julie, because you have to finish everything. So make sure that you don't spend too much time on part 1 and part 2, being a perfectionist. If you don't finish part 3 and part 4, it will be a big problem. You have to finish everything. Be careful with your spelling for part 3. In part 3, there's always at least one plural, at least, maybe 2, but minimum 1 plural. So if you finish part 3 and you don't see a plural, you know you are missing a plural. You need to go back because you need to add an S somewhere. And there's always a prefix. So if you, at least 1, maybe 2, but minimum 1. So if you read your answers and there is no prefix, you know you need to go back and you need to find where do I need to put the prefix. Okay? That's all I can tell you. And part 4, don't get obsessed about part 4. If you get 3 out of 6, it's really good, you know? I would also translate part 4 into your own language. I know that's debatable, but, and yeah. Obviously, you know, in part 3, you have to change the spelling of the word, and in part 4, no. Okay, I hope that was useful. Mac, just practice the exercise technique. Yeah, do exams. There are so many books. Do exams. Part 4, in part 4, there's always going to be phrasal verbs. There's always going to be one passive. There's always going to be one reported speech. There could be a comparative for C1. And there'll be some type of idiomatic expression, but that's a total wild card, you know. Inversion, maybe. For Cambridge, it's not as common to have an inversion, but could be. Luis, I like English, but I have to learn and be better every day. Yeah, Luis, it's a good attitude. No problem, Julie. It's useful for you. It's probably useful for everybody else, I think. So more examples. The firm is looking to hire a compliance officer and extensive regulatory experience. So if we're talking about people, we use hire. Okay? Very good, Mac. Yeah, not only hardly ever inversion. It's true. Yeah, they could come up. The university has hired several internationally recognized researchers. So again, hire with people. The university has hired, they hired an architect to oversee the restoration project. Really nice verb there, guys, oversee. Why can't we rent an architect, accountant, or band? Because rent implies temporary possession of an object or property. So this is why it's weird, okay? In all senses of the word. People cannot be rented because you are not obtaining possession of them. Instead, you are purchasing their expertise, labor, or professional services. For the same reason, we hire a solicitor, hire a photographer, hire an interpreter, and hire a private investigator. Remember that companies can also rent out property. Really nice phrasal verb, rent out property. Luis, I'm watching movies in English and not in Spanish to learn. Luis, that's awesome. Luis, I recommend watching a series. I think series are so good because you have many episodes with the same actors, the same accent, so it gives you some time to get used to them. For me, it helps anyway. The company rents out several commercial units to local businesses. This means they receive rent from other people. So they're the landlords, okay? Oh, hi Gabby, you watch Friends. Yeah, that's a really popular one. So popular. A lot of people like that. Then we have earn versus make. I like this because sometimes they can be a bit confusing. These two verbs are frequently confused because both relate to money, but they focus on completely different ideas. Now, I have to mention, if there's any Spanish speakers here, win is not the same as earn. Please be careful with that. Okay, because in Spanish they say a lot, win your salary. But no, you win the lottery. For the salary, you need to work. So if you need to work, it's earn, not win. Okay, that's a really important one. So earn focuses on entitlement through work, effort, skill, or investment. It answers the question, what income did someone receive? For example, oh no. No, is it okay? I zoomed in for myself to make it a bit bigger. I've done something now. Okay, I hope you guys can still see the screen all right. Shout if there's if the screen is not in the middle of your page. Examples. Senior associates at international law firms can earn well into 6 figures. This is very American. When they say like 6 figures, 7 figures, I have a 10-figure company. 6-figure company. She earns substantially more than she did in her previous role. We discussed last week role, job, duty, task. Do you remember? It's on the video on YouTube, guys, if you didn't see that class. You can't see me. Oh my God. Guys, can the rest of you see me? Can you guys tell me if you can see me? Barbie can see me. Okay, Julie, yes. Hey, Derek. So Cassie, I think it's your telephone or something. I'm visible. Okay. So Cassie, I think it's your telephone. The other guys can see me. So I don't know why. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Awesome. Cassie, I hope you can figure that out. I don't know why you can't see me. It must be your phone or something. So over the course of his career, he earned a reputation for integrity as well as generous salary. Okay, Cassia, cool. Guys, pay attention to this if you have a very high level look, because it's so nice. Can you see? It's an example of earn, that's not money. He earned a reputation. Okay. Hello, Derek. Can I join the practice? My mere skills? You can join the practice. Which practice? You can. With your mere skills, of course you can. You're always welcome, Derek. You gave some good examples yesterday. Derek, you're a PE teacher, right? In Poland. I remember. Love PE teachers. I have a few students who are PE teachers. They're the best. Just here? Cool. Of course you can join in. We're happy to have you. So notice these are some common collocations, right? We earn a salary, earn a wage. Guys, if you don't know, I recommend checking the difference between wage and salary. Earn a living, very much C1. You need to know that. Earn interest, earn commission. Guys, you should know this one. Earn a bonus, they're all C1, okay? By contrast, make focuses on creating or generating wealth, profit, or financial success. Amel, can it be used for things, for example, the company earns it? Yeah, you can. The company earned a brilliant reputation. This company has earned a very good reputation in Poland. Yes, you can. Earn a living, Derek, is your money. So me and you, we earn a living. We get money for our life, to pay for the car, to pay for the house, to pay for food. It's to earn your money to live. Earn a living. Some people say as well, they will say to you, look, what do you do for a living? This just means what do you do? It means what's your job? What's your job? So you say, Vicky, how do you make a living? I say, I'm a teacher. Derek, you never heard this? Yeah. My father would say this. What do you do for a living? What does he do for a living? Like, what does he do to earn money? Yeah. Julie, I'm going to practice the use of English more. See you. Awesome. Good luck, Julie. Yeah. To earn one's keep. I've heard this in some movie on Netflix. Yeah. It's a bit old-fashioned. You see, keep is if you're living in somebody else's house and it's not your family or whatever, you have to do something. Clean, cook, take care of the animals on the farm to make sense for you to be there for them. You need to give them something back because they're paying to keep you in their house. Yeah, to earn one's keep. I'm going to put this up here. It's a good one. Yeah, to earn your keep. That's a really good one. But it's a bit old-fashioned. Hello, Iona. For a living, yeah, but never earn. Okay. What do you do for a living? Not yeah. How do you earn a living? Yeah, yeah. You can use both. Okay. Now, that's it for now, guys. I have a class from 5 to 6, and I'm gonna be back in 1 hour. Okay. I'm gonna be right back in 1 hour, and we'll continue